If you feel completely stuck in your career right now, you are not alone. Some people have absolutely no idea what they want to do next, while others are torn between too many options. You either start researching, reading about job titles, taking career quizzes, watching videos, and somehow you end up more confused than when you started. Or you take a few steps down one path, and then that little voice in the back of your head says, what if this isn't right? So you walk it all back, you start down a new path, and you rinse and repeat. Either way, you're burning precious time and energy that's not getting you any closer to your actual end goal. Meanwhile, the people who have already picked a path, they are running right past you. But that all changes today. In this video, I'm going to show you a 5-part ChatGPT framework that's going to help you get crystal clear career direction. Now, this is clarity that would normally take weeks of overthinking and research to find, but I'll show you how to get there in under 10 minutes. Let's dive in. To help you unlock that clarity, we're going to cover 4 things in this video. First, I'm going to show you the difference between regular ChatGPT and dictation mode, which is a feature that allows you to speak your answers to ChatGPT, something that is super handy for prompts like this one. Second, I'm going to show you how to build a comprehensive clarity assessment that's going to turn ChatGPT into your career clarity coach. Third, I'm going to show you how to have confidence in the path forward. Whatever AI recommends, I want to show you how you can actually have confidence in investing in that path, because part of the reason you're probably struggling with clarity is none of the paths quite feel good enough to fully commit to. And that is one of the traps in the cycles that we need to break. So I'll show you how to do that as well. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to leverage AI to craft a step-by-step action plan that's going to help you turn this new career path into a reality. So let me share my screen and build out this entire thing in front of you so that you can replicate it for yourself. To get started, I'm going to walk you through the exact prompt that we are going to build to create this career clarity assessment and AI coach. Now, this is going to be a multi-step prompt, but you're going to combine all these steps into a single prompt at the end, and I'll show you what it looks like to run that in just a second. But the first part of our prompt is going to be some context. We're going to upload our resume so the AI has that visibility into our background and qualifications. Then we're going to give the AI some context on specifically what we're struggling with around clarity. In this case, I told it I'm struggling with the fact that I don't know what job titles are a match for my background and skills. There are so many different paths. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And then we are going to tell it what role to assume, as well as prompt it to run through a set of tasks. So in this case, I'm telling it to assume the role of an executive coach with over 20 years of experience, specializing in career clarity, and then we prompt it with, here is your task. That leads us into the specific steps that we want the AI to take, starting with a brainstorm of all of the different factors that someone should consider when they're making this specific decision. The reason that we're doing this, and the reason that I like to include a minimum of 10 to 15 different factors, is because there are a lot of different angles that we should consider when making a big decision. And the AI is really, really good at brainstorming angles that we probably wouldn't have thought of on our own had we done this brainstorm ourselves. So this is going to set us up for the next step in the prompt, which is crafting the assessment. Now, I have this as a 5-question assessment. You can add more questions if you want. It'll take more time, but the output will be more detailed, it will be more relevant, and probably more effective. So anywhere between 5 and 10 questions is good. But I'm telling the AI here to craft these 5 questions so that they cover all of the angles that we brainstormed in the previous step. And I'm telling it that the goal of these questions are to elicit answers and information that can be used to help identify a specific career path, including the job title, the industry, etc., as well as any skill gaps and a prioritized order of the factors that I should consider, so that at the end of this, I can specifically see which factors matter most to me based on the information that I gave the AI. Then the third step is to ask me the questions one at a time. So one at a time is key. We typically don't get, at least I find that the best experience is not having all the questions at once, but instead it asks a question, I get to answer it, and then it asks the next question. So that's essentially what we're telling it to do. We're just prompting it to ask one question at a time and store our answers after we share them. Then finally, step 4 is essentially preparing and formatting the output. So we're saying when I've shared all of these questions, I want you to analyze all of the information that I gave you. Then I want you to go research different job titles and career paths. And I want you to output 3 different career paths using this specific format. And we're giving the format so that the AI knows what we are specifically looking for when it comes to the output. So what I want this to do is share the job title and career path, a confidence score on a scale of 0 to 100 to show how confident the AI is in that career path for us in this case, a summary of why this specific career path is a fit, areas that we should double check on our own, because at the end of the day, AI is not a replacement for us. It's not just a copy paste. We shouldn't follow it blindly. And so we want to see where there are areas of opportunity for us to go deeper and really verify on our side. And then finally, a highly tactical step-by-step action plan that is going to allow us to begin taking steps towards making this career path a reality. So most of this should be self-explanatory, but the one piece I want to dial in on is the confidence score. My recommendation is that if there is a confidence score of 70 to 80 or above, that is a path that you can move forward with. And if you're stuck between two paths that have that 70 to 80 plus confidence score, you can go deeper with ChatGPT. You could even say, hey, build out a new assessment that is going to help me get clarity on which of these two specific paths that I should go deeper on. And then you can run that in the same thread. But you are never going to have more than 70 to 80% confidence in one of these paths. If you do, then that's great. But by and large, and one of the main reasons you're stuck is because you're swirling in that 70 to 80% range when you want 100% certainty. And unfortunately, that's just not a realistic outcome. So aim for 70 to 80% on the confidence score, and then start taking actions on that action plan to move this process forward. So now let me give you an example of me running through this entire prompt live so you can see what it looks like. So I've got this entire prompt loaded up with my resume. I'm going to go ahead and run this. ChatGPT thought for 40 seconds and it broke out exactly what I asked it to do. So first, we can see in step one, all of the key factors to consider when we're making this specific decision. And like I said, there are a lot in here that I would not have come up with had I done this brainstorm myself. So that is one of the big benefits of leveraging AI for this. Then in step two, we can see the 5-question assessment that it's going to ask me. Now, normally I prefer it to just ask me these questions one at a time without seeing them ahead of time, but I also can see the benefit of being able to review them ahead of time, get some of those stories and examples in your head before you dive in. And that brings us to step 3, which is actually beginning the assessment. You can see here, ChatGPT said, okay, here's question 1, give me 3 to 5 concrete wins and use this specific mini template. So what I'm gonna do now is begin answering these questions one at a time. But the key thing that I want you to be aware of is dictation mode. Dictation mode is this little microphone icon right here. When you click it, it allows you to speak your answers rather than having to type everything out. And I find that that is a lot more organic for an exercise like this. It also means that you can do this exercise while you're out on a walk, while you're driving. You don't have to be tied to your desk or your phone and spending hours typing all of these answers out. So with that said, let me jump in and answer each one of these questions using dictation mode. We'll fast forward quickly through that, and then I will go ahead and show you what the output looks like. All right, so I just finished up the assessment, and ChatGPT first gave me a summary of all the answers that I shared with it via the questions that it asked. So we have a really nice breakdown here, really nice recap. And then as you can see, there are 3 career paths that fit here. So first, the Enterprise AI Solutions Engineer, which is a confidence score of 85 out of 100. Then we have this AI Product-Led Growth Specialist, which has a confidence score of 80 out of 100. And then we have this mid-market / SMB AI strategic advisor, and that's a confidence score of 70 out of 100. But what I love for each of these is outside of the confidence score, it talks through why this is a fit specifically for me and based on the answers that I gave. It breaks down areas that I should double check. So talking about, how consulting and advisory roles can drift into legacy structures with bureaucracy. So making sure that we pick a firm that isn't going to do that. That's going to allow me to be nimble because that's something that's important to me. Focusing on travel increases. I said I only wanted to travel 10 to 25% of the time, and just making sure that that is aligned. And these are all things that I can learn as I network, as I do more research on companies that I find now that this path is clear. And then finally, I love the action plan here. So talking about researching these boutique AI consulting firms, updating my resume and portfolio to highlight the work that I've done. But then, more importantly, taking certifications, right? Getting certified in AI strategy and implementation, or building out a project. That was one of the other recommendations that was made earlier on. And the cool part about this is you're building context in this thread. So now you can actually go back and forth with ChatGPT. You could say, hey, I want to launch this side experiment. So help me pick the right AI tool. Help me create a step-by-step go-to-market plan. Walk me through that process. And now the AI has the context to do that. And you can keep this thread in your ChatGPT sidebar, and you can come revisit it as you work through the roadmap that's going to get you on the path to turning this into a reality. All right, so hopefully you can see how powerful this can be in helping you get that clarity and break through that ceiling. And the number one thing that I'll leave you with is you're gonna go through this and you're gonna see the confidence scores and you're still probably gonna think, well, I'm just not sure. That is normal. The key thing that you need to do is then begin taking action. Go through these action plans, find a step that you can take today or tomorrow, and begin working through it. The only way you're gonna get from 70 to 80 to 90+% certainty is by taking action, by applying to roles, by doing the research, and by networking and talking to people. You are not going to be able to break through that 70 to 80% ceiling unless you do that. So that is what I will leave you with. But now you've seen how we built this whole thing out. Let me give you the prompts that you can use to go out there and implement this on your own. All right, so now it's time to build this out for yourself. But if you want to shortcut the process of building your own personalized career clarity assessment, you can steal the copy and paste prompts that I used in this video. All you have to do is head to austinvelsack.com/clarity. You can copy and paste them all out on your own, run through the assessment, and break through that clarity ceiling so you can actually start moving forward with your job search. So I can't wait to see what this reveals for you. I'm so excited that you can break through that and finally begin to take some action, and I will see you in the next video.